people! Oh, shut the fuck up.
In a real world sense. The most obvious interpretation would be a plant human character in the game that's part of the plant. Calling this the plant character.
Restart!
And that's what we're going to be using for this video. In Plant there are 5 worlds.
Let me fucking play, nigga. What is
So that's it for the first game, right? Wrong. I wasn't lying when I said there are 3 more plant characters that are primarily exclusive.
I'm gonna dust my nut! Dust it! What the fuck are you doing? Don't give me the people! Don't give the fucking people seizures! Seizures!
But all of them have a unique function and a distinguishable appearance, even if it's just a rotated or upside stage sprites. This is a good time to define what the term character even means. Dictionary.com defines character as the aggregate of features and traits that form the individual nature of some person or thing. I know this is in reference to character as the quality of an individual rather than a fictional media sense of a character, which would be more relevant here, but the qualities that build such a character are evident in this definition. In order for a plant to
God damn it!
character, it needs to
Play
have some
fucking
features
play!
or functional, an individual or unique from all the other characters. Sure, backwards repeater made the speed of repeater flips horizontally in Photoshop, but the fact that it faces backwards is a trait that makes it both functionally and visually distinct from the regular repeater. From now on, I'll be considering a plant a new character if it meets at least 2 of the following criteria. They have the unique name,
I'm gonna crush on your nut!
unique functional trait,
I'm gonna...
that all separate the character
I'm gonna microwave someone!
or real-world plant. Also, it's a given that it has to be on plant and non-human, so characters like Crazy Dave and his family won't count. And neither will either, obviously. This is the criteria we'll be using for the rest of the video, but there may be some slight exceptions on a case-by-case basis.
What the hell is that? Oh, my decimal fell off. Don't ask. I meant the fucking thing from the mouse, which I'm not using.
Is this a character? You can make the argument that no, it's just a normal ass tree, and I mean, you're not wrong. We call a tree of wisdom a plant character. Why can't we call this tree here on the title screen a character? Or screw? Why isn't the grass on a lawn a plant character? Well, the tree of wisdom may look like a regular old tree visually, but functionally it has a big trait that carves out its character from the other trees. Its ability to commit credit card fraud, and it can talk too. I don't know how this thing can talk since it has no mouth. Maybe Crazy Dave spiked your drink with some magic or something, but it does talk. It also has a unique wisdom. So this meets our criteria for a plant character, and it's enough to distinguish.
What the fuck is this for? Figure it out! Let's go in the microwave!
The tree face on the title screen isn't its own character, unfortunately. We also have to talk about the sprout from the Zen Garden. A new plant character, even though it's essentially a baby marigold. It has a unique name, Sprout. It looks different visually to a grown marigold, and it has unique functionality since it doesn't produce coins but rather grows into a marigold. You can make the case that the marigold and Sprout are the same character, but I'm going to count it because even if you don't count it now, it will count in the next game anyway. Also, what the hell is up with those prices, Crazy Dave? I know the cost of living and inflation are high right now, but you don't have to take it this. In fact, is Crazy Dave even paying taxes on this stuff? I highly doubt it because he only accepts cash and he's running the whole thing out of his boot. Crazy Dave pretty think he should seriously be investigated by the government or something. Anyway, I got me sidetracked there. I'm not going to be counting all the colors of Marigold and the Zen Garden as individual characters since they only meet one of the criteria for a new character, the visual difference. And that just about wraps things up for Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, wait a second. There's one more plant we need to talk about. In the Air Raid minigame, which is exclusive to the DS version, you play as a Gatling Key or 3-peter sitting in a flower pot aircraft. I don't think this thing has a name because nobody in the history of mankind has ever had to refer to it, but that's what I'm going to call it. The flowerpot aircraft has unique visuals and unique functionality to the regular flowerpot, so it does meet enough criteria to be considered a new character. In the Air Raid minigame, you can also upgrade the flowerpot plane with a pumpkin, but as far as I can tell, this is practically just the same thing built with a pumpkin placed on top. Calling this its own character would be like saying Peach Shooter and a pumpkin is its own plant. With that said, we're finally done with the original Plants vs. Zombies. Believe it or not, the next games we need to talk about get a lot more complex. As for Plants vs. Zombies 2, we have 44 new world plants that weren't from Plants vs. Zombies 1. In addition, there are 17 new premiums, 11 new gemiums,
Please.
13 new mint plants,
I have to fix some things! Real quick, I have to fix some things. Because this shit not working!
Instead of mints, so I included it in the CDM count instead. For the CDMs, there was
Hold
one
on.
wide issue, which was Mega Gatling Pea. Some people would include it as a regular Gatling Pea, but I see no reason to, since they're named differently, function differently, and look different. This doesn't just meet our criteria for a new character, but exceeds it. As for some of the more obscure plants, we have a few to discuss. Firstly, we have the Travel Log. This is a similar case to the Tree of Wisdom, and it's basically just a normal log, except that it has its own name, functions as a quest NPC, and it has swag, so it counts.
Give me the fucking
Exclusive security boards also
PVC
count.
2! I want 3! I want to fucking open. I want to open. I want to open this bitch. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna kill someone.
Plants their own characters. Let's take Fortune's plant ability, for example. It may not have a unique name, but it differs functionally and aesthetically from the original Torchwood, which meets our criteria for character. Really, this is just the same character, though, it's just a powered-up version. There are countless examples of this in game.
Give me a damn second! This is not fucking welcome to Battle Hell! This is fucking evolved!
And acts differently to
Damn it.
character. However, this phenomenon isn't exclusive to plant food. There are a bunch of plants that have different forms based on whether they are full health, damaged, powered up by shadow plants, and so on. For all these reasons, I'm making the first amendment to the rules. Plants that are strictly a result of plant food, powered up states, charged up states, or damaged states all do not constitute new characters. This new rule makes for a few potential characters that are pretty vague and indecisive, so I'll explain whether they'll count on a case-by-case basis. Holyberry is Leech could be considered a new plant, but remember at the start of the video when I said that a new character has to be significantly unique visually? Well, Holyberry's leaves are undoubtedly meant to be from the Holyberries present in the main plant. For the same reason, Bowling Ball's projectiles, Starburst projectiles, Great Shot's projectiles, Crocodile's mobile form, Tiny Ross's mobile forms, and Parsnip's mobile form all don't count as new characters, as they're clearly one-for-one fragments of the original plant, just split apart from the rest, or in the case of Crocodile and Parsnip, the whole plant just goes into motion. The tofu turkey spawned by Turkey Pulp is also just a one-for-one continuation of the main plant, as it's present in Turkey Pulp's plant sprites. You can make the argument that the tofu turkey isn't part of the Turkey Pulp plant, and the Turkey Pulp plant is simply lobbing tofu turkeys, but strictly abiding by our criteria. Here's a picture of Turkey Pulp, and here's a picture of a tofu turkey. The tofu turkey is not visually unique at all, as it's entirely present in the Turkey Pulp plant. Even if you wanted to go the other way around and say tofu turkey is a new character because it has its own name on top of its unique functionality, that's still incorrect because the tofu turkey is never formally referred to as tofu turkey. Whenever the almanac references the tofu turkey, it's all in lowercase and not capitalized like all names should be as nouns. This is the same with the grass tiger and the tiger grass plant. However, for the baby versions of Dragon Brute and Garchroom, the game actually does refer to them with their own distinct capitalized names. The baby Dragon Brutes are called Baby Brutes by Penny, and the baby Garchrooms are called Mini Shrooms in the Almanac. So even though you could argue the baby Brutes and Mini Shrooms aren't visually distinct from their adult counterparts, they still satisfy the other two criteria for a new character, which is enough to pass them. The Plants vs. Zombies wiki seems to agree with me on this one, as it includes these two as plant characters and omits all the other plants we've proven to be invalid. On the other hand, the pomegranate seeds left after the pomegranate is used do count as a new character. These are both visually and functionally unique from the pomegranate plant and normal pomegranate seeds, so they do count. The zomboids spawned from Zoid being plotted without plant food all count as new characters as well. These are the lemon-headed, carrot-headed, and melon-headed zomboids. The reason why these count as new characters and not hypnotized zombies is because zombies are essentially infected humans. At the beginning of the video, I established that only non-human characters count as a total. The zomboids aren't zombies, but rather vegan recreations of zombies, crafted by the Zoidian pod. Boom Balloon Flowers balloons don't count as characters, as in terms of naming and aesthetics, they're identical to ordinary real-world balloons. With all those borderline character cases analyzed, we're done with Plants vs. Zombies 2, with a total of 164 new plant characters. This game does update really often, so this number will definitely change in the future, but the point of this video is to count the plants as of the present. At the time of writing the scripts, the most recent plant added to the game is Blast Spinner, which I'm sure will be finished by the time I get this video out because I've been rewriting and writing the script. Yeah, in case you're wondering,
I'm just gonna pirate at this point. Fuck you. I am tired.
Anthropomorphic plants to fight off a hypothetical outbreak of zombies.
I have the game on song. It won't fucking work though because you are a fucking loser, Bobcap. Bobcap. Okay.
Plants vs. Zombies 3 features immediately 4 new characters. Those being Bambi.
Oh! I was probably playing a wrong version of.
Despite visual similarities
How's-
to Jurian, Lychee has a different name and functions differently. Also becoming Silver Sword, since it was a character at one point.
Probably fucking downloaded the ball version, not the fucking. Welcome to.
Such a low amount of new characters.
I didn't saw Welcome to Zootopia.
At least they started making some good changes, such as the Choose Your Seeds feature, which honestly should have been there from the very beginning.
Garden Park Fire, but the Coop Bear was this.
Garden Warfare brought some major stylistic changes to the visuals of existing characters, which obviously causes some big problems in the context of this video. Is this pea shooter the same character as this pea shooter? It's obvious that the Garden Warfare pea shooter functions differently to the Tower Defense pea shooter since it can move around, jump, deal splash damage, and use 3 new abilities, none of which the Tower Defense pea shooter could do. Since these 2 pea shooters have the same name, this question all comes down to whether you consider the Garden Warfare pea shooter to be significantly different visually to the Tower Defense pea shooter. Personally, I'm going to say no. The only reason the Garden Warfare pea shooter looks different to the Tower Defense pea shooter is because of the game around it, not any changes to the character itself. Obviously, pea shooter needed to be painted in a semi-realistic shooter game, and the extent of its visual
Stupid. Zomburbia.
It's still at its core the same pea shooter character in terms of name and visuals. Everything I just explained also applies to 3 other base variants in the game, Cactus. All these plants remain visually identical to their Tower Defense forms, apart from their style of appropriation to the shooter genre, and retain the exact same names. For the record, the Plants vs. Zombies wiki agrees with me here. All the variants for Chomper, Cactus, and Sunflower are new characters, taking the total for this game to 23. However, the pea shooter variants are a bit more tricky. And by tricky, I mean needlessly stupid. First, we have Fire Pea. Obviously, this is the same character as Fire Pea Shooter from Plants vs. Zombies 2, but that one's called Fire Pea Shooter, not Fire Pea. Since it is just an abbreviated version of the same name, I'm letting it slide. These are the same character beyond any reasonable doubt. But now they're just messing with you. Ice Goddamn Pea. Not Snow Pea, Ice Pea. The thing that irritates me about this name is that it ruins the whole pun and double meaning of the name. So was Ice Pea just too good to have a light-hearted, silly name? Is Garden Warfare just that serious as a shooter that the naming conventions can't have any silliness or jokes to them? That would make no sense at all, considering the tagline of the game was shooters just got weird. I'm gonna count Ice Pea as the same character as Snow Pea, even if I'm making an exception against my own rules. Since Ice Pea is identical to Snow Pea, and the difference in functionality from the base pea shooter is exactly the same as the difference between Snow Pea and the Tower Defense pea shooter. Since both of these plants function as pea shooters that kill zombies, I think it's fair to say they don't significantly differ from each other functionality-wise. Also, for the record, even though Ice Pea can fully freeze zombies, and Plants vs. Snow Pea can't, this was actually an ability given as Snow Pea in Plants vs. Zombies 2. With all that said, our Garden Warfare new character count sits at 29. Also, that is, the wiki agrees with me on Ice Pea and Fire Pea as well. But we're far from done with Garden Warfare because we still haven't discussed the potted plant abilities and some other random obscure characters. Sombrero Deacon, Heelflower, Darkflower, Spiky Spikeweed, Chester Spikeweed, Potato Nugget Mine, Garlic Drone, and others all count as new characters. Cactus has 2 other abilities that are a bit more complicated. Tallnut Battlement and Iron Maiden. Tallnut Battlement has its own name, but isn't visually distinct from Tallnut and Walnut, since it's legitimately just a pair of walnuts and tallnuts held together by a single vine. And it isn't functionally distinct from those two characters either in any significant way. So, unless you count the Vine holding them together as a significant difference in visuals, this isn't a new plan. However, Iron Maiden has its own name and is visually distinct from the Walnut character, and since it isn't created by Plant Food in this game, unlike Plants vs. Zombies 2, it becomes its own character. There are also 3 boss mode abilities, which are all super...
I don't care if I'm pirating. Shut the fuck up. I am tired.
But when played in game, it's a completely new character, and obviously looks nothing like a sunflower, but rather, well, a twin eelflower. The Coconut Spotting Station is a pretty clear-cut character, but the Revive Rainbow is a different story. It does have its own name, but visually there's nothing that significantly differentiates it from a regular watering can on top of a regular flower. I would say that the rainbow pouring from it does make it different to a regular watering can visually, but even I've touched enough grass to know that water streams and mist outdoors can cause a mini rainbow effect due to the refraction of all the wavelengths in sunlight. Not gonna lie, it's kind of sad that so far the only time I've used my high school and uni physics knowledge is to help determine whether a watering can sitting on top of a flower is actually a character in a children's game franchise.
Screw it, I'm playing Pizza Tower, motherfuckers!
These 11 abilities take the total from 10 to 40.
Be a second.